Okay. All right, so I'm going to be teaching a lesson on day 4 about role models in This Boy's Life by Tobias Wolff, and how to differentiate what makes a good role model from a bad role model, and how the people in Toby's life, like Dwight, his mother, his teachers, etc., are all not the best of role models, and how it impacts Toby growing up and his idea of the American dream. Um, my goals for this lesson are: students will understand why performing a close reading is important regarding picking up important key details that may be glanced over while reading casually or doing a close reading. Examples like Dwight's narcissism, Toby's mom's learned helplessness. It satisfies reading literature standards 1, 3, 4, 6, speaking literacy 3, 4, 6, language 3, 4, 5. The students will demonstrate their critical thinking capabilities by rationalizing their choices in what makes a good role model or why Dwight is a terrible role model. Again, RL 1, 3, 4, 6, SL 1, 3, 4, 6, L 1, 3, 5. Students will understand how, even though they all come from somewhat different backgrounds, that there are some universalities of the human condition, as is evidenced by characteristics that Toby believes makes a good role model in the 1950s, and what the students believe what being a good role model is in the present day, RL 136, L 135. And students will be able to better understand how Toby's idea of the American dream is working against him, and how this is shaping the person he will become later in life, RL 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, SL 1, 3, 4, 6, L 1, 3, 5. As far as outcomes and instructional objectives, I want the students to understand that close readings are an essential skill for life and not just useful within an English classroom, that they can then transfer their knowledge from this class and apply it to their lives going forwards. Cognitive objective: students will list all the characteristics of a good role model, discuss why these characteristics are desirable, compare and contrast how the characters from the book This Boy's Life measure up against the student's ideal role model, and judge how Toby will turn out with these kinds of role models in his life. Affective: students will communicate their ideas on the characters of the text This Boy's Life in a casual/social setting at first, to be made into an academic assertion in later writings. Psychomotor: students will collect and discriminate the characteristics of good role models and the characters of the text This Boy's Life for use in a later lesson, performing a short skit based on the characters of the text. Materials: the students will need the text This Boy's Life by Tobias Wolff, some lined paper, notebook, pens, pencils. I will need the whiteboard with dry erasers, the post-war suburbia picture, this is right there, the Venn diagram, which is a little lower, right there. And then I did not list it here, but they also need their tablets. I want to have the students, when they first come into the classroom, before they sit down, I want to pose them this question. What comes to their mind when they see this picture? They're then going to have to say what they think before they're able to sit down, just so they have some kind of, activity before they get situated. Answers I'm looking for, American Dream, nuclear family, suburbia, white picket fences, 4th of July, Americana, poor culture, etc., etc. So that's my grabber. Afterwards, the students will be asked to write down what they believe to be the good characteristics of a good role model, drawn from personal experience and something in the movies, TVs. Examples are bravery, resilience, motivation, etc. They'll then say them out loud. I'll then go through the list and they'll vote which ones are most desirable. I'll then put the names of the characters from the text, Dwight, mom, teachers, etc. on the board, and have them list the different characteristics of each role model, and then they'll juxtapose that against what makes a good one and see how they either stack up or don't stack up in their Venn diagram, of course. The last bit will be an exit ticket, which I will be using the app Socrative. Socrative. So this is what the teachers section looks like, where I can make quizzes. They can be multiple choice, true, false, or short answer, or a combination of all three. We can do space race, where they're essentially timed against themselves, the other students, so they can see who finishes their quizzes first. Or the exit ticket, which is what I'll be using in my in that class, where with the exit ticket, it would look like this. I would start the exit ticket, and then I would switch over to the student app. If So then it'll ask the students, how well did you understand the material? They can say totally, pretty well, not very well, not at all. Let's say not very well. They can then place what they learned in class. So they can again say nothing. And then I would post a question on the whiteboard, which they would then have the chance to respond to this question at the end of this. So we'll just put no question. So then it's finished. And then on the teacher's app, I can see that the one person in my room has completed it. I can hit finish, and I can get reports. So if there's a bunch of different students in the class, I can get the graph reports or spreadsheets, and then I can use that for possible assessments later.